Hello and welcome. Or welcome back. We're growing. So today I'm going to be attempting to show my process of making that little twist brush. I did a braid brush pretty recently and it's, worked out pretty well. A lot of people have been giving me a lot of positive feedback on that video, and I got a request to walk through how I did that twist one. It's honestly the exact same process. So I don't know what I'm gonna do to like kind of switch this one up, but let's get into it. Once again, as a disclaimer, I am not good at making tutorials. I don't really know the proper terminology for things, so if you just know better or you found a tutorial that's better, just let everyone know. I have a little file from the last time called brush. The properties are basically, I have it at 1200 pixels by 1200 pixels and then 400 dpi. In theory, attempting to make it so that it's the highest quality and that when used in Procreate, it's not going to be too pixeled if it's scaled up or scaled down, in theory. So basically, just like last time, turning the background layer black, and I'm going to turn my brush color white. I'm gonna map out a basic idea of a twist and kind of hope it all comes together. And since this isn't the final product, as always, it doesn't need to be super amazing, just enough to allow you some understanding of what you want. From there, I'm going to turn that off. I'm going to duplicate this because I want these patterns to fit into each other. I'm just thinking now, I'm going to turn on magnetics just so that I can bring it down straight. Yeah, and then kind of bring down the opacity for both, just so that I can readjust the shape. All right, oops, that's the wrong layer. Okay. I want it to like overlap just a slight bit, so I'm going to kind of do a little bit of this. And since in theory I know where it's going to overlap, I'm going to make sure my texture is like right in the middle and not causing issue to that. Now I'm going to take that out, put this back all the way up. I'm not sure if it matters if I have the background like visible or not, but for right now I'm going to take the background out and see what that allows me. Oops, sorry, one last step. Putting it sideways. All right, and now we're gonna save it as a PNG, save to files. In your own files, you can definitely have it already named so that you can find it easily. I'm consistently lazy, so I have still not changed the title from untitled artwork, so I'm going to keep both, which means I'm going to keep everything that is called untitled artwork, because you know I got a lot, Anyway, from here I'm actually going to, let's see, go to the calligraphy section of Procreate, and then it has monoline. I'm going to duplicate that. So we're here in the monoline. I duplicated it. I'm going to click it, and it's going to open up the brush studio. That's going to give you all these lovely selection of things. I don't know what most of this does, but we're going to go to the shape editor section, which gives you that shape source on the top corner in the middle. I don't know. in the middle of this little, in the top of this, in the middle of the screen, but on the top of this little panel here, I'm gonna press edit, and then I'm gonna import, which will give me these image source options. I don't know what source library or paste is, but we don't need to use it right now. So we're gonna go to import a file. All right, scrolling all the way to the bottom. What time is it? It's, okay, this one, done. As you can see, without the background, it doesn't really change too much about anything. Even if I was to put in a file that, say, had a black background, like that for example, it doesn't like cause any issue. So that detail, just so you know, it's unimportant. Regardless, I'm gonna go back, of course. The one thing is that obviously, because your image doesn't have a background, it is very complicated to see whether or not you're picking the right thing. You gotta really probably name your files. Anyway, done. We're gonna go to stroke path and spacing to separate it a little bit so that I can see. Then we're going to go over to rotation, and I put it to 32 because I can kind of already see that it's like on the same path. Another thing, because it's monoline, it's so small. Let's see. I think that I'm gonna have to go to properties and bring up the maximum size. And yeah. As you can see, this looks wild right now. So we're gonna go back, we're re-zhuzhing. I think that should be like that. And then back to stroke path, bring that spacing in. Boop. Ooh. I'm seeing a little separation, which I'm not sure like how to, oh, no! This is a great lesson. Instead of clicking done when you're not done, click this drawing pad option and it'll give you the option to clear the pad, reset the brush settings and whatever. Let me do this again real quick and I'll get back to exactly where we were. I think we're back. So I just tested it. It's nice. I'm not seeing any separation. Of course, when I like curve it a certain type of way, it's gonna have some separation at the end. I think that's to be expected, but I think for the most part, it's not bad. Okay, yeah, I think that's that. Yeah, this looks pretty good. Obviously the one thing is like, it's ginormous. So let me go back to these settings, right? Properties, let's make the minimum size like 5%. The maximum size is gonna be 100, so, okay. Yeah, that provides a little more variety. Anyway, I have prepared this little face, this little bust of like one of my OCs. Just to wrap this up, I'm just gonna like play around a little bit, see like if this even worked, and like further zhuzhing that I might need to do with this particular brush. Because as I'm using it, I'm already noticing like you need to kind of keep your hand pretty steady. Like it has some little weirdness, little glitching that happens on occasion. So maybe we can give her like some space buns. That'd be cute. Maybe she has like a little that going on. A little like goddess look. Always love those. And then I've been seeing like this hairstyle on TikTok a lot. It's got like 3 sections and then you also have a ponytail. Which, as I realize, you know, not the best not the best thing to draw like in the front view. But we can attempt it. Pros and cons. The first hairstyle was super easy. The second hairstyle, I was noticing some glitches with the brush, and then the third hairstyle worked out, but then I was like, you know, honestly, I probably could have done that last one. You know, never mind. I was gonna say I could have done it quicker if I hadn't used the brush, but I think that's not correct. Like, that's really wishful thinking on my part. For these brushes, for me, I'm realizing that they have their time, they have their place, and I appreciate the texture that is able to be created and the ability to plan out a hairstyle very quickly and see it come to fruition very quickly. That being said, I think that there are some little kinks that I need to figure out further, just because as I'm turning the brush, it's kind of like scattering weirdly, or like if I'm pushing up instead of pushing down in a certain area, I'm kind of like getting a weird glitch, it feels like. And I'm not quite sure if that's because I was using the mono brush, because of the shape that I was using to make the twist, or is it Procreate? Like a whole host of things that I'm curious about, but it clearly didn't stop me from achieving my end goal. So that's just something to be mindful of. I feel like this is less of a tutorial and more of like, this is what you could make if you want, but warning, it could get janky, but you know, definitely let me know what you think. Let me know if you were noticing glitches in the brushes that you made. If that was the case for you and you were able to fix it somehow, let me know that. Or I guess if you just happen to have this knowledge and you didn't even make the brush and you're just like, you gotta turn this off. All the same, let me know. That'd be great. Maybe I'll test out the other brushes that I made, because like I made them, but then I was kind of just thinking like I just use them as needed and not really test them out like so extensively like how I do for these videos when I'm making these little tutorials, because I was very shocked. The braid brush felt very concrete, but at the same time I was just like making a hairstyle that was like, all the braids are down. All the braids are down. Like, share, and subscribe, and see you in the next one.